What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and today we're going to be doing a video on a machine that's been a work in progress for quite a number of years now. Those of you who've been with my channel for a while know that I've had this machine since I lived in my old house, and yeah, I've had it for quite a while. In fact, I might have even got it when I was still at my dad's, I'm not quite sure. It's been a long time, to say the least. This is the Bissell PowerGroom Multi-Cyclonic. I forgot the model number off the top of my head, but it's somewhere on a sticker on the back. Yeah, it's right there, whatever that says. So, this machine finally got resurrected for one reason and one reason only. I found this Bissell Powerforce bagless turbo off the side of the road. And I know a lot of people like these, but I've already featured one of these on the channel before. It's the 6585 model, and I got it for a couple reasons. Number one, the base has quite a few issues. First off, the pedal's broken, which that could easily be fixed, but the wheels are kind of messed up on it. The housing's a little wonky, and this particular Bissell is in really bad shape. Now, sure, it would clean up just fine. I'd have to replace a lot of the screws, though, and, you know, it could have been salvaged. The motor in it was obviously good, as evidenced by what you see here, but given the fact that I needed to harvest the actual tray in the power foot assembly for my blue 6594 anyways, and you can't get that part anymore to replace it, otherwise I would have done that in the first place, that means that this base would then be out of commission. I don't have any spare bases, so the rest of the machine has to go. So what I did is I took the motor out of it, so this won't be in a vacuum save because I've already, well, basically the motor sounds like this. So, and as you can tell by the sound of that, it sounds great because I swapped the old motor, which sounded like an air raid siren on crack, and the good motor that was in here somehow was good. Despite the fact there's all this dirt in the machine, the motor was perfectly clean, which makes no sense because these have awful filtration. I guess this stupid little mesh thing that you can literally see through, I guess did its job. So, because you can't even see the filters. But yeah, so I'm wondering what you guys want me to do with this machine. Obviously, like I mentioned, I'm going to use the tray for the 6594, and I might put the handle on it too, so I have an onboard turbo brush, but I'm not sure what else. Also, I forgot to also mention, another reason why I decided to scrap this is because this PowerGroom needed a hose and a set of attachments. This had all that, and the cord on this was fucked. Again, all things that I could replace, but when I have other machines that need motors, I could do that. In fact, I literally remember saying the day before I found this, I want to fix the PowerGroom, but I don't think I'm going to bother with it unless I find another Bissell that's in bad enough condition to be worthy of scrap, but somehow has a perfect motor in it. And clearly, by the good graces of the universe and whatever religion you may or may not believe in, or all of them combined, whatever spiritual, universal stars align, Mercury retrogradness, it was basically decided and bestowed upon me, this machine, on a local curb with a perfect motor, but an otherwise less than desirable housing. So, that is that. I transplanted the motor into this Bissell PowerGroom Multi-Cyclonic. The headlight in it was good too, so I transferred that. I replaced the HEPA filter because the old one was actually moldy. In fact, I can probably find it. Don't ask me why I threw this on the floor. It was a bad idea. You can tell it's covered in mold. So, not really desirable. So, that's obviously going in the trash. And yeah, so I had a new old stock Bissell genuine filter that I got from the one and only lovely Handy Andy, and I plopped that in there. Of course, it's a genuine one, so it's a bit of a snug fit. And yeah, now the pre-motor filter is probably due to be changed. It's a little warped. You can see, not great. But it will do in the meantime. You can tell it doesn't even fit properly anymore. So, in fact, it's wet for some reason. I'm not sure why it's wet. I'm gonna press that out real quick. There's not a lot of moisture in it. So, since this is wet, I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to go dab this with a towel. It's very minimally moist, so I should be able to dab it out with a towel real quick. Well, it's not going to be perfect, but it shouldn't hurt anything. So I am going to change this since it is obviously doesn't fit right, so dust could get in the motor. I'm only running it for a couple seconds. Before I actually start using this in preparation for the full review, I'm going to order a new filter. Put that in, especially because this Cyclone basically this Cyclone design replaces what used to be the upper tank filter. But I feel like this Cyclone will be a lot more effective because we actually have a decent, like these holes remind me of the size of like an older Dyson, like a DC-14, which would have been out around the time this was. So that makes sense. Hopefully that means that when I get a new filter for this, these filters should hopefully last longer than the old CleanViews, but time will tell. So yeah, now one other thing I did is, of course, I replaced the belt, and the brush roller that I had in this, it was either from this or it was from the PowerGroom Helix Rewind. I don't remember, but it was pretty much shot. Like, it works, but the bearings are a little funky. Like, it spins kind of, but it's not quite free. So it's the kind of thing where it will work, but it will prematurely stretch out the belt because the bearings are starting to grind a little bit. So yes, you could theoretically service a Bissell brush roller. I've never been able to successfully do that. And frankly, when they get to be in this tattered of a condition, if you're going to go through all that effort to replace the bearings, especially the rods are always rusted like this, you might as well just change it. So I have two of these rollers, one of them where there's a bit of rust on this axle right there, but it otherwise is brand new. That one's probably going to go in the 6594. And then I had this one. This is a proper new old stock. Well, I guess it's not a new old stock because they still sell this. It's a brand new brush roller. And yeah, so this is way overkill for what this machine deserves, but it will give it the best chance at performing tip-top shape. Brand new brush roll, brand new belt, brand new filter. Other filter will get replaced at some point. And it was missing the hose, so I replaced that. I temporarily put just a random set of attachments on it. This Bissell came with the 3 main attachments, but it was missing the turbo brush, so I washed those. Those are drying. Once those are dry, those will go on this. Since those are the same attachments that came with it, it's supposed to have a black crystal. So I know someone will point that out. I need to get the turbo brush for it. Now, the turbo brush from the CleanView One Pass, again, a machine that's around the time of this, does kind of fit, but it doesn't really fit snugly because this is designed for a wider turbo brush. You can tell it's a little bit short, so it kind of fits, but it's not secure on there, so I won't want to store that on there. It's probably going to fall and break, so yeah, that's that. I also picked up this at work, but that's not what you're here for. So again, I haven't even cleaned this stuff up. I'm doing this super quick, so we're just going to run this. I probably should have cleaned that out. That's still a little salty. But yeah, so all that is there. Let's give this a quick run. There. All right. You can see the filter is actually bulging the assembly out, which is odd. Bissell, what do you expect? So, yeah, it works. Obviously, like I mentioned, I'm not going to run it for too long, because again, that filter, I'm going to check up on that. Yeah. Because again, this motor is spotless. I don't want to get any dust in it. I probably got a little bit, but you know. So I'm not going to run it again until I change that filter. I'm not sure. Again, this is a genuine HEPA filter, so I guess this cage is just loose. I don't know. Is the only way to solve that to buy another cover? I don't know. Seems a little sketchy. Do I have this in the right way? Yeah, this side in. Okay. Oh well, that's a bit odd. But yeah, so. Okay. So, Bissell PowerGroom Multi-Cyclonic. And by multi, we mean dual cyclonic. Twice the cyclonic action for superior suction. 12 amps, Bissell 15-inch wide cleaning path. All that fun stuff. And yeah, this is the first gen of this. The second gen, to my knowledge, is more common. It's the same machine, but all the gray parts are green. And the Bissell logo isn't here. It's like, I think it's like right here. But yeah, so this is the model. Oh yeah, and standard style 7 belt, 14 style pre-filter, and 8/14. Is 14, is that the same as the clean view? I can't remember. But yeah, so Bissell Power Force, or not Power Force. See, I'm so used to saying that. Bissell PowerGroom 92L3-W. Manufactured on the 146th day of 2010. And if we look at the machine this motor came from, which I obviously don't care about messing up at this point, this one's from the 57th day of 2009. So the motor is actually a little bit older than the vacuum itself, which is pretty fun. They're both made by Suzu Limited. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I probably butchered it. Let's see what it did. I'm actually rather impressed with that. Yeah, it's a good amount of fine dust and grit for just a super small area. Just kind of haphazardly going, not being all that thorough. And yeah, pretty satisfied. And none of it's on the filter. So happy about that. Happy about that. Maybe we actually have a Bissell with a, with this design, with, a twist and lock dust cup. But maybe this time with an actual proper filtration system. That's probably not true, but yeah. I can already tell it's better than all the garbage that came before it, including that. And look, I get it. I'm nostalgic for these power forces. I grew up with these power forces, but objectively speaking, the filtration makes them terrible vacuums. Unless you don't care about the filtration, in which case, yeah, they're great. So, but a lot of people do. So yeah, pretty interesting. Probably the most interesting bagless Bissell that I have. Probably alongside the Rubbermaid Clean View and the PowerTrack Revolution. Really, those are all the interesting ones, and it very well may be the case that those are the only ones I end up keeping. Because the blue 6594, I'm probably going to end up selling at this point. The Rewind Smart Clean, possibly the same story. But, I mean, the Rewind Smart Clean is better than the 6594, so there's not really any reason to keep one over the other. Or keep the bagless instead of the Rewind Smart Clean. So I'm going to sell the 6594, the blue one. I already sold the black one. The Clean View 2 is still for sale. I did take the hose off it, but this is the proper hose for it. Anyways, I have an actual proper hose for that Clean View 2, which will be on it when you buy it. So if you want the Clean View 2, buy it off my marketplace page. Free shipping. So yeah, I also just sold the DC65. So today's been a pretty good day for sales. But yeah, so my next Bissell project vac will probably be, if you look in the corner, that Bissell total floors, which you probably can't even see. It's all apart in pieces. That wind tunnel, unfortunately, is too far gone. And as you can see, I did bring over my power glide, and I still have the power lifter. So just random machines over there. So yeah, that is the power lifter. Or I keep calling this the wrong thing. So this is the power glide, or PowerGroom, or power lifter, or power, yeah, power ease, power plus, PowerGroom, Multi-Cyclonic. Finally up and running after, what has it been, like 2-3 years at this point? This thing is finally up and running, and it's 95% of the way done. It just needs a filter and a turbo brush. So yeah, that is it. So just to recap, I replaced the motor in this, replaced the HEPA filter, replaced the belt, replaced the brush roller, all with new pieces. The motor was a donor, and I replaced the hose with a new hose, replaced the attachments with a set of attachments, although it will eventually have the proper set of attachments on it. And that's that. So yeah, Intellitech Studios signing out. See you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a good one. Peace. And if you have any requests for any other machines you want to see a video on, be sure to drop them in the comments below.